two things before I start. The first is there anybody in this audience who will be offended by the use of sexually explicit language? Because if there is, leave now. You can't say you weren't warned. The second thing is, check out my shoes. I bought these 2 hours ago in the ephemeral marketplace. They're by a brilliant young Montreal designer called Anastasia Radovich. She's got a phenomenal philosophy of environmental consciousness. These are from her Bio Future collection. Anastasia Radovich needs a backer. She needs somebody to fund her to produce many more of these brilliant shoes. And where better to find a backer than C2 Montreal? So somebody in this audience, you can help Anastasia. Please do, because I want to buy a whole load more of these shoes. I date younger men, generally men in their 20s. Thank you. And through dating younger men, I realized about 7 or 8 years ago that I was encountering an issue that would never have crossed my mind if I'd not encountered it very intimately and personally, which is what happens when two things converge. When today's total freedom of access to hardcore porn online meets our society's equally total reluctance to talk openly and honestly about sex, and results in porn becoming by default the sex education of today in not a good way. And so I found myself encountering a number of, if you like, sexual behavioral memes. I went, whoa, I know where that behavior is coming from. If I'm experiencing this, other people must be as well, and I want to do something about it. So 5.5 years ago, I put up, on no money, so it's very basic and clunky, a website at makelovenotporn.com that posts the myths of hardcore porn and balances them with reality. The construct is porn world versus real world. I had the opportunity to launch Make Love Not Porn at the TED conference. I took a deliberate decision to be very explicit in my TED talk because I knew that audience wouldn't get this issue unless I was very straightforward about it. As a result, I am to this day the only TED speaker ever to have uttered the words, "come on my face," on the TED stage, 6 times in succession. The talk went viral as a result, and it drove an extraordinary response to Make Love Not Porn. And the most extraordinary thing was not just huge amounts of traffic to the site from every country in the world, so it went global without my doing anything about it, but every single day for the past 5.5 years, I've received thousands of emails to my Make Love Not Porn inbox, and they come from everybody. Young and old, male and female, straight and gay, from every country in the world. And even before the actual site that I put up, what amazes people is simply the fact that I stood on the stage in public, I talked about, and I'm doing something about what everybody knows and nobody ever talks about. And as a result, people feel able to tell me anything. They pour their hearts out to me on email. They tell me things about their sex lives and their porn-watching habits they've never told anybody else before. They write for advice. 15-year-old boys write for advice. 50-year-old women write for advice. And it was the sheer cumulative impact of those emails arriving day after day after day that eventually began making me feel that I had a personal responsibility to take this venture forwards in a way that would make it more far-reaching, helpful, and effective. I have to emphasize that Make Love Not Porn is not anti-porn. The issue we're tackling isn't porn. We're tackling the complete absence in our society of an open, healthy, honest, truthful conversation around sex in the real world, which, if we had it, would, among many other benefits, also mean that people would then bring a real-world mindset when they view what's essentially artificial entertainment. Our entire message boils down to very simply, talk about it. Talk about sex openly and honestly in the public domain, and talk about sex openly and honestly, privately, with your intimate partners. And the reason that's important is because we all get very vulnerable when we get naked. Sexual ego is very fragile. People find it bizarrely difficult to talk about sex with the people they're actually having it with while they're actually having it. Because you are terrified that if you say anything at all about what's going on, if you comment on the action, you will hurt the other person's feelings, you'll put them off you, you'll derail the encounter, you'll potentially derail the entire relationship. But at the same time, you want to please your partner. You want to make them happy. You'll seize your cues on how to do that from anywhere you can. And if the only cues you've ever seen or been given are from porn, then those are the ones you'll take to not very good effect. So our tagline is pro-sex, pro-porn, pro-knowing the difference. And what I decided to do, therefore, was to take every dynamic that exists out there in social media currently and apply them to the one area that no other social media network or platform is ever going to go, sex, in order to make real-world sex and the discussion around it socially acceptable and therefore just as socially shareable as anything else we currently share on Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram. And I decided to do this as a business with the potential to be a very big business, because I knew that if I wanted to counter the impact of porn as default sex education, I had to create something with the potential to be as mass, as mainstream, and as all-pervasive in our society today as porn currently is. Fortunately, with that very big ambition, I have a brilliant team. And I want to give a shout-out to my two amazing co-founders, Corey Innes, our CTO and programming god, Uni Chase, our user experience design goddess, and our amazing community manager and curator, Sarah Beale, who is in the audience somewhere. Sarah, where are you? Up there. Guys, Sarah is Canadian. She lives in Montreal. Make Love Not Porn has roots in Montreal. She'll be around for the next 2 days, so you've got to say hello. And together, a little over a year ago, we launched MakeLoveNotPorn.tv, which is a user-generated, crowdsourced video sharing platform that celebrates real-world sex. It's effectively MakeLoveNotPorn.com brought to life. Anybody from anywhere in the world can submit videos of themselves having real-world sex. We explain what we mean by that. It's not performative. This is not about performing for the cameras. It's just about capturing what goes on in the real world in all its funny, glorious, messy, silly, ridiculous humanness. We curate, we watch every video to make sure it's real, we don't publish it unless it is, and we have a revenue-sharing business model. We are part of the collaborative economy, just like Uber and Airbnb. You pay to rent and stream real-world sex videos, and 50% of that income goes to you, our contributor, or as we like to call you, our Make Love Not Porn star. Now, we're not porn, we're not amateur, we're real-world sex. We are doing something completely different from anything else out there. I'll give you a few examples of what I mean by that. And I stress the word examples because the whole point is, we've built this platform, we're putting it out there, we haven't the faintest idea what's going to come back. You, the world, you, our community, you tell us, you show us what real-world sex is. But here are some examples of what we mean when we say that. Real-world sex is funny. If you can't laugh at yourselves when you're having sex, when can you? Porn-world sex is not funny. Porn has parodies, but the sex in them is in deadly earnest. One of the reasons we're doing this is that we want to reassure people the same shit happens to all of us. Because we don't talk about it. Instead, we go, oh my God, what happened last night was so excruciatingly embarrassing. I can never speak about this to anybody ever. So, for example, the total nightmare putting the condom on. Guys, you're all meant to know how to do it like magic. Shh. As we all know, does not happen like that. When it doesn't happen like that, things go soft, juices dry up, encounters get derailed, queefing, fanny farts. We all do it, nothing to be ashamed of. We want a category that is the sexual equivalent of America's funniest home videos. Because when people film themselves having sex, you never see the outtakes. But there's a market for that. Imagine the sex equivalent of Charlie Bit My Finger. which has now had over 500 million views on YouTube. Imagine the appeal of something as funny, spontaneous, human recognizable, but in a sex context. Real-world sex is messy. It always amuses me when people talk about porn as being dirty, because porn actually sanitizes sex. Porn's very clean. In porn, nobody has hair. You never see anybody using lube, even though they get through gallons on set. You never see those nice, messy things that happen in real-world sex. So we want categories like period sex. Don't see that in porn. And as a result, unfortunately, a myth has sprung up for young men and women today that goes, whoa, can't have sex during a period. So we welcome period real-world sex. Blood everywhere. Bring it on. And then real-world sex, very importantly, is responsible. In porn, either there are no condoms, or all of a sudden the condom's on, jump cut, they're having sex. Where'd that come from? We invite the hottest, most arousing real-world sex content that competes to eroticize condom usage. What's the hottest, most arousing way you can introduce a condom into the action, put it on, take it off, dispose of it? I have sex with condoms all the time. I want to watch my kind of sex. But I particularly want creative ideas for those awkward condom moments that we all go through. And if more of us had more creative ideas on how to make those awkward condom moments hot and arousing, there'd be a lot more safe sex happening, a lot less sexually transmitted diseases, and a lot less unwanted pregnancies. So we want to introduce a new socio-cultural meme, condom hot. Make condom hot love, not porn. Not only do condoms not get in the way of great sex, they can actually be an integral part of great sex. We do a number of other things that nobody else is doing with very specific intentions to help make it easier for people to talk about sex. So when you visit makelovenotporn.tv, you'll see we have a specific copy and design philosophy. Unless you're actually streaming video, everything on our site is safe for work. This is the website where when someone sits down next to you, you never have to slam your laptop shut. It's okay. It's make love, not porn. Our criteria is literally that you could be on a plane with Wi-Fi, you could have your laptop open at your seat to make love, not porn, there could be kids running up and down the aisle next to you, and as long as you're not streaming video, it's fine. These are some of the icons we use on our site. There are a number of things about the pervasive impact of porn on our society and the absence of conversation around sex that nobody is thinking about and nobody is addressing. Because we don't talk about sex in the real world, we have no socially acceptable language with which to do it. The language of porn has rushed in to fill that gap. And that is not a good thing for a number of reasons, not least of which is that, as you would expect in a male-dominated industry, the language of porn is predominantly male-generated. So the person who coined the term finger blasting didn't have a vagina. Because if you have a vagina and you hear the term finger blasting on across your legs, the person who coined the term getting her ass railed never got his ass railed. Pounding, banging, hammering, slamming. So what we're doing at Make Love Not Porn is we are building a new vocabulary for real-world sex. We tag our videos completely differently to the usual porn drop-down menu of anal, Asian, hairy, cream pie, whatever. We tag our videos with terms like juicy, succulent. Our term for oral is downtown. Our tag for anal is deliberately derived from the recipient's experience of anal. We tag our anal sex videos, ow, 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 hey now. And we are doing this because we want you to take our language and use it beyond our platform in the real world. This is language you can use to talk about sex without feeling embarrassed about what's coming out of your mouth, without worrying about being overheard in the bar or the coffee shop, and it's language you can use to talk about what you want in bed in a positive, gender-equal, celebratory way. What you see on the site is only half built. We have plenty more of our vision to develop. These are some of the badges that you can receive for contributing to Make Love Not Porn. You'll find out what those mean in due course. We launched in private closed beta about 4 months before we took the site public. We were just 2 weeks old in private beta. Nobody could see what we were. You had to be invited in. But we landed on the front page of the porn industry's biggest trade journal, XBiz, with a headline that said, "Cindy Gallop's new website takes aim at porn status quo." I give the porn industry full credit for seeing the disruptive potential of what we're doing before the tech and business world ever did. The porn industry is very interested and supportive of what we're doing. No one's tried to disrupt it in a very long time. In amongst those thousands of emails that I received when I launched MakeLoveNotPorn.com were, much to my surprise when this first began happening, a lot of emails from people in the porn industry, specifically Generation Y in porn, millennials. Because Gen Y in porn is like Gen Y anywhere else. They're entrepreneurial, they're ambitious, they're questioning and challenging the old world order, and they want to be a part of the new. I found that 20-something porn stars and porn directors were reaching out to me saying, "We love Make Love Not Porn, we want to help." We have a lot of friends in the porn industry, and therefore we have a category on Make Love Not Porn where porn stars get to post the sex they have off camera in the real world. Because porn stars have real world sex too, that is completely different from the sex they have on camera. And my straight porn star friends, my gay porn star friends, my lesbian porn star friends are sharing the sex they have in their real-world relationships and talking about how different that is from the performance they put on for the camera. When we launched in private beta, we meant to go under the radar, but news leaked out around the world, and a lot of people got very excited, including Italy. Here are 2 headlines from Italian journals, again 2 weeks after we went live in private beta. L'Espresso said, "Goodbye YouPorn, hello Make Love Not Porn. This site, if successful, has the potential to topple the giants of the industry like YouPorn." Today said, "This website is still in beta. It promises to change forever the world of online pornography." Now, it's very nice that that was being said about us when we're only 2 weeks old. But it's not true, because we are not going up against porn. We play a different role to porn. We're not simply masturbation material. We are that too, very happy to be that. But what we are was best summed up by one of our members, a young man, who said to us, "Watching porn makes me want to jerk off. Watching your videos makes me want to have sex." We're like any other social media platform. We're about connecting people through better communication around sex, to get to better sex, to get to better relationships, to get to better lives. Think about all of those celebrations of relationships that crop up in your Facebook timeline every day. Engagement announcements, wedding photos, lovey-dovey coupley things. All we're doing is we're providing a platform to celebrate that last era of human relationships nobody else will let you, but the motivations and the social dynamics are exactly the same. On Facebook, it's from your friends, "We're madly in love." And so here we are on a romantic weekend in Paris. Here we are kissing in front of the Eiffel Tower, dining in a French bistro. And on Make Love Not Porn, it's, "We're madly in love." And so here's the phenomenal sex that we had in that hotel room in Paris on that great weekend. Same deal. Plus, ultimately, we want the fact that you're a Make Love Not Porn member to badge you as, "I'm good in bed," in all the right kind of ways. Why is this important? Today, the average age at which a child is first exposed to hardcore porn online is 8. And a global survey done last year indicates that age may have dropped to 6. This is not because 6-year-olds go looking for porn. They don't. It's a function of what, in the world we live in today, is utterly inevitable. It's a function, parents, of what somebody shows your child on a cell phone in the playground, of what happens when they go around the neighbor's house. It doesn't matter what parental controls you have in place at home, your kids live their lives in other places. Or, because this is the most wired generation ever, a 6-year-old does something really cute and innocent. They learn a new naughty word and they Google it. Penis, 1 or 2 clicks away, something they never expected to find. Like the 7-year-old daughter of a friend of mine who earlier this year innocently Googled black tights, spelt it T-I-T-S. And this is a problem because still today, very few parents talk to their children about sex. And back in my day, if you were a parent prepared to at least have the conversation used to be purely logistical. The conversation used to be, this goes into this. When a man loves a woman, the birds and the bees. The conversation to have today as a parent goes, darling, we know you're online. We know you're looking at porn. And we just need to explain to you that actually not all women like being tied up, bound, gangbanged, raped, choked, and have men come all over them. And actually not all men like doing that either. 100% of parents are not having that conversation. That's why we exist. We are a little over a year old in public beta, growing every month. In fact, even in the, I had to submit these slides 2 weeks ago. That figure is now, as of today, 276,000 members. We have 70 Make Love Not Porn stars, about 180 videos on our site. We are making money every month, not a huge amount, in the low 5 figures, but in a world where the received wisdom is nobody pays for porn, they're paying for real-world sex. A number of our Make Love Not Porn stars are making 4 figures at each payout. We are the answer to the economy, by the way. We've gotten substantial media coverage globally without doing one single bit of media outreach, universally positive reactions, and we've seen, in the time that we've been live, the social and business acceptability increase. But that success is in the face of utterly extraordinary obstacles. My team and I fight a battle every single day to build this venture. Every piece of business infrastructure any other startup can take for granted, we can't because the small print always says no adult content. It took me 2 years to get MakeLoveNotPorn.tv funded. Very ironic. I should have been every VC's wet dream, literally. I have an idea enabled by technology that delivers the Silicon Valley triple whammy, designed to disrupt a sector worth billions of dollars in a way that is both socially beneficial and potentially very financially lucrative. But because the sector is porn and the social benefits of sexuality, no VC investor would come near me. It took 2 years of pitching to find one angel investor who got it. Put up a small amount of seed funding to enable us to build the platform. I closed on that funding. I then could not get my hands on the money for 2 months because I couldn't find a single bank in the US where I'm based that would allow me to open a business bank account for a business that has the word porn in its name, even though our name is Make Love Not Porn, and that does what we do. I still can't. I can't find a bank anywhere in the world that wants my business. Our biggest operational challenge is putting payment systems in place. Because we're adult content, PayPal won't work with us. Amazon won't. Mainstream credit card processors won't. Trying to find an email partner to send our membership emails out with. 5 or 6 rejected us as adult content. Corey had to build our entire video sharing platform from scratch. Streaming services won't allow us to buy their off-the-shelf services. Amazon services won't host us. And this is an utterly wrong-headed situation. Our single biggest obstacle on Make Love Not Porn is the social dynamic that I characterize as fear of what other people will think. It is never about what the person I'm talking to thinks. Because once you understand what we're doing and why we're doing it, nobody can argue with what you're doing, with what we're doing. It's their wrong-headed fear of what they think everybody else will think. And by the way, fear of what other people will think is the single most paralyzing dynamic in business and in life. You will never own the future if you care what other people think. And this fear of what other people will think is a huge problem. Thank you. It's a huge problem because what people don't realize is that the things that worry people about porn are driven by business issues and they require business solutions. I bring a very rare perspective to the adult industry. I bring a business perspective. It's rare not because I'm unique or special, but because the people whose brilliant brains populate the pages of the Harvard Business Review, who sit in audiences like this one, have no interest in turning any of that brilliance on the adult industry. And they should. Because porn is like any other industry that I study as a business person. It's gotten so big, it's gotten conventional. Porn now has norms and rules and conventions, which is why so much of it is so repetitive and boring. It's fallen prey to that syndrome of collaborative competition. Collaborative competition is when everybody in a sector competes with everybody else in the sector by doing exactly the same thing everyone else in the sector is doing. And it's tanking. Its old world order business model has been destroyed by the advent of free porn online, and it hasn't invented a new one. Now, every dynamic I've just cited is also true of the music industry, of television, of publishing, of advertising, of every single industry you could name. It's just the way those dynamics manifest in porn is more controversial and distressing. The explosive growth in extreme violent porn is not driven by evil, twisted, malignant, vicious forces that work within the porn industry. It is not driven by, oh my God, we'll all become more depraved and corrupt as human beings. It's driven by, very boringly and prosaically, a bunch of guys scared shitless not making any money, doing what bunches of guys scared shitless not making money do in every sector, which is play it safe. Oh, look, they're all making that stuff. We should do that too. Oh, look, that must be what makes money. Let's do that too. As in washing powder, so in porn. And so the answer to everything that worries people about porn is not to shut down, censor, clamp down, block, repress. It's to open up. Open up in the dialogue in the way that we want to do with Make Love Not Porn. Open up to welcoming, supporting, and funding entrepreneurs who want to disrupt the world of sex and porn for the better. Open up to allowing people like me and my team to do business on the same terms and conditions as everybody else. I'm here to tell you the next big thing in tech is changing the world through sex. And if you don't believe me for all these social good reasons I've outlined, oh my God, the money to be made. And the money to be made in two areas, the second of which nobody ever thinks about because they just don't even think it's possible. First of all, obviously, the money to be made out of sex. We all have it, we all enjoy it, recession-proof, market never goes away. But secondly, the money to be made out of socially acceptable sex. When you achieve what my team and I are setting out to do, make real-world sex socially acceptable and socially shareable, you potentially double, triple, quadruple the returns you can make when you normalize people feeling fine about publicly buying into your goods and services, publicly recommending, advocating, sharing, and badging themselves as brand ambassadors. C.V. Harquail, the academic and consultant, wrote a great piece about us last month. She said, no startup challenges our norms about appropriate business more than Make Love Not Porn. Make Love Not Porn rents videos, but it sells social change. Make Love Not Porn is not only changing how we think about sex, it's changing how we think about business. If you think what I and my team are doing is intriguing and interesting, here's what I want you to take away from it. This is what a venture concepted by a woman, co-founded by two women and a man, and built by a team that is more female than male looks like. Different. Women challenge the status quo because we are never it. If you want to back disruption, if you want to back innovation, back women. The day we have a porn industry that is 50-50 equally informed, influenced, designed, managed, and led from the top by women as well as men, that therefore targets 50% of its output, its product, equally at women as well as men, as opposed to misguidedly thinking that men are the only audience, and that therefore, importantly, makes 50% of its money equally out of women as well as men, is the day we have a porn industry that is more creative, more innovative, more disruptive, and a whole different and better industry. And the same thing is true of every other industry. So I've got 5 asks for this audience. First of all, please, everybody here support us by going to makelovenotporn.tv and signing up as a member. Secondly, please, everybody, rent one video. $5. If every one of you rents one video, that will enormously help our business. Thirdly, if anybody in this audience knows anybody who owns a bank, please introduce me. When I was going through this struggle, somebody said to me, Cindy, to do what you want to do, you're going to have to start your own bank. And if I can ever find someone who wants to back me, I'm very motivated to do that. But in the meantime, I'd love to meet a sympathetic bank. Fourthly, we need open-minded investors. We are absolutely going to scale and grow Make Love Not Porn to $1 billion venture. And I'm looking for the people who want to fund that, not the next trivial iPhone app or game. We are building your children's future. We are impacting the single thing that will ensure your children's happiness. And I really want people who understand that to come and invest with us. And the last ask is, we're also looking for brands, brave brands who will pay to partner, who understand that we should be your version of youth corporate social responsibility, because this is the area that impacts young people's lives and happiness, and all of our lives and happiness the most. Oh, and by the way, also, guys, we know perfectly well you're all shagging like rabbits at C2 Montreal. We want you to video that and submit it to Make Love Not Porn. We want a category. We want a special category that is Make C2 Montreal Love Not Porn. We want Montreal to represent, show what you're really capable of. And by the way, if I can get Make Love Not Porn to do what I want it to do, I already know what my next venture will be. One day, I want to start an incubator accelerator for radically innovative sex and porn startups. I want to be the Y Combinator of sex. Because my young friends in the porn industry have brilliant ideas, great concepts. There is nobody in that world to mentor, coach, advise, finance. And Make Love Not Porn has brought to me a host of young entrepreneurs who want to change the world through sex as well, run into all the same problems we do, can't get funded, can't put payment systems in place. So I want to collaborate with anybody and everybody, because our ultimate end goal for Make Love Not Porn is a very big one, but we absolutely believe in getting there. If I and my team achieve our social mission of making real-world sex socially acceptable and socially shareable, the ultimate corollary of that success is that one day, nobody should ever have to feel ashamed or embarrassed ever again about having a naked photograph or a sex tape of themselves posted on the internet, because it's simply just a natural human part of who we all are. When you take the shame and embarrassment out of sex, you defuse revenge porn, you defuse many things with the potential to make human lives very unhappy. So I would absolutely love you all to join with us and encourage the world at large to change the world through sex. And I think I have like 2 minutes for Q&A if anybody would like to ask me any questions. Thank you very much. Questions, anybody? Questions? Stunned silence? Anyone want to ask something? Oh, yep, there's a hand there. Is there a mic? Okay. Yeah.
Social mission's huge. Do you have any goals or milestones to get there? Just because it seems so big.
Oh, yep, business survival. We're tiny, we're bootstrapping, we're fighting a battle every day. I've painted you the picture of what we set out to achieve. I believe everyone should have a big vision. We are battling and struggling and scrabbling along the first path, which is just getting to build our platform and making it work. That's where I'm starting. That's why I need help. Anybody else? Yep.
Quick question for you. I was wondering if you would be leading the way and putting your videos with your young lovers, all the team online.
Sure.
What would you say to that?
Yeah. Sure. So everybody asked this question, by the way. And equally, my team and I absolutely had this conversation before we launched, which was that as entrepreneurs, we should be using our own platform. There are differing views within the team. Some people are very keen to do this, some people less so. But what we did all agree as a team was that we have a very controversial venture. I've told you what a battle we fight every day. We agreed it would be too distracting for the business to have any of us on our platform at the moment, because it's difficult enough even getting people to listen to what we're doing and agree to give us business partnerships and help. So at the moment, that's a purely business decision. But again, if you all support us, back us, fund us, one day, I promise you will see my real-world sex video, Make Love Not Porn. There's incentive for you. And my time's up, so I have to go. But thank you very much. And join MakeLoveNotPorn.tv.